Hello and welcome to the Silver King's War. I'm Michael Sievers, the writer, producer, and creator of this podcast series about my father's Second World War as a B-26 bombardier. Today we begin his letters, Dearest Ones, that he wrote from bomber school in Carlsbad, New Mexico. This perhaps is one of the most significant training periods for our hero, the Silver King. His goal is to gain his gold bars as a second lieutenant in the United States Army Air Corps. Stanley begins 4 months of writing from Carlsbad on Saturday, September 11th, 1943. Dearest Ones, after 2 days and 3 nights of arduous travel, we finally arrived here this morning at 6 a.m. This is the 6th state on my list of travels. Now I have only 42 to go. Believe me, it's a real thrill seeing the different parts of the country. Who would have ever thought that I would be living in Carlsbad, New Mexico? I remember well how far away these places seemed after your trip west. We'll have plenty in common to talk about when I get home. If I was very superstitious, I would think there is some connection in yours and my travels. The trip down was very tiresome. I've had some long train rides, but I doubt if I'll get to the point of liking them, especially on a troop train. We had Pullmans, 3 men to each, which meant doubling up in the lower. I feel lucky to have such a swell fellow as a good buddy of mine. He's also a washout, which gives us a lot in common. He hails from Philadelphia and is a Catholic. I've been friends with him since Santa Ana, when he was a bunkmate of mine. His name is John Sherry. You'll get to meet him when you come out for graduation. He's quite a good-looking fellow and has a wonderful personality. Another good buddy of mine is a kid, Jewish, from New York by the name of Herb Stempler, and we go to temple together each Friday night. Now that I'm here, I can give you a little more definitive information. It will be a 18-week training course, meaning I will graduate next January with the title of Bombardier Navigator. I will receive, in addition to the Bombardier course, a short course in navigation. As it is now, each crew member knows a small amount about someone else's job. Therefore, in my case, I will be capable to relieve the navigator of some of his work, and the same will apply to him. That's the reason for the length of the course. I don't mind it too much, as I feel I will really be learning something useful. The first 3 weeks I will be terribly busy, going to school from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. So don't expect to hear from me often. When I start flying during the 4th week, perhaps I will have more time. It promises to be a tough school. Still, I figure a commission is worth it all. Besides, I have a swell setup. This is practically a new field. In fact, we are just the second class to go through. The living quarters aren't bad at all. There are regular barracks, but are divided into separate small rooms with 2 men to a room. And I have as my roommate John Sherry. It's a hell of a lot better than everyone's sleeping together. I really can't complain at all. It gives me more privacy than I've had yet in the Army. The food is marvelous. I never expected to find that way out here. Yes, this place has all the characteristics of being a swell place as far as Army camps go. Of course, I'm in quarantine again. Each time I transfer, it's the same old story. That's why I won't call you tomorrow. I can't even use the phone. It will be for 10 days, so I'll try to call at the end of that time. It will be 3 weeks before I get open post, but from what I hear, Carlsbad isn't much to see anyhow. I have hopes of making connections with some nice whack here on the post. Their barracks are only a few yards away from ours, making it very convenient. It's against regulations, but I think I can get around it. I've had a busy day, on the go since the minute we arrived. It's always like that when you get to a new post. Physical exams, drawing of equipment, lectures. I'm dead tired and must get up early tomorrow, so we'll close. I hope you're well and not too lonesome. This is the last leg of the trip. I'm coming home with flying colors this time. You won't be disappointed again. Write me at the address you'll find on the envelope, and soon. Love to Ida. I love and I miss you. Stan. The Silver King's writing begins a pattern where he has a chance to sit and relax and compose on Sundays. And this letter is from Sunday, September 19th, 1943. Dearest Ones, it was swell hearing from you and to know you're well. I hope you didn't worry this past week because of not hearing from me. I should have told you not to expect to hear from me but once a week. My schedule is so arranged that it's impossible to find time to write. Therefore, Sunday is the only day I'm free to write. This past week was plenty rugged, and I'm still trying to recuperate from it. Every day I had 10 hours of school, and that includes the night classes. It's a terrific grind, but funny as it may sound, I don't mind it at all. The work is so extremely interesting that the time passes unnoticed. It was all navigation, which is all new and fascinating to me. It isn't terribly difficult to master so far, but there is just so much to learn. Each night I come back to the barracks with my head spinning. Yesterday I had a 4-hour exam, which covered the entire week's work. I used to think a 3-hour college exam was tough, but that one yesterday surely puts them in the shade. I don't think my brain has ever been so overworked. I was completely fatigued mentally. There will be an exam like that every Saturday. You can easily see what a well-educated man I'll be. This next week, I start learning about the bomb site. This, with navigation mixed in, should be a Lulu. By the way, I'll have you know I'm now in the process of making history in only the second class in the country to go through as a bombardier with a rating as a dead reckoning navigator. And the first class will be commissioned only 3 weeks before us. We get everything a navigator learns except celestial navigation. The program is so new that it hasn't even been completed. You should see all the equipment I drew. Besides the navigator bombardier kits, I have a winter flying suit. It's one of those fleece-lined affairs, jacket, pants, helmet, and shoes. One of the fellows has a camera, and as soon as we can get hold of some film, we'll take some pictures. I also got a fitted parachute. Altogether, it must total well over $1,000. Thanks for offering, but I don't need a thing. I'll be out of quarantine Wednesday, so we'll call the first chance I get. And don't expect to hear from me until I write you again next Sunday. Keep well and write soon. Love to Ida. Love and kisses, Stan. Our hero's writing, generally once a week, allows him a little more time to write longer and descriptive letters. And he does on Sunday, September 26, 1943. Dearest Ones, it was swell talking to you this morning. I'm sorry if I awakened you, but I knew it would be the best chance to call. I got through right away without a delay. If I sounded funny, it was because I had just gotten out of bed. It was only 7 o'clock here. But, Mother, you sounded as if you had a cold. I certainly hope it was only my imagination. Dad, you always sound good. I could picture you running down the stairs to get on the other phone. It surely seems like a long time since I've been home. Well, another week is gone. Only 16 to go. And what a hectic week it was. It was all bombardier work and surprisingly much harder than the navigation. I had previously figured it just the opposite. It's a known fact a navigator is supposedly the brains of the crew, but I believe now a bombardier is no dummy. I made 93 on the exam last Saturday, of which I'm quite proud. However, God only knows what I made yesterday. Last Monday, I saw the bomb sight for the first time. Our instructor called it the Golden Goose, and he wasn't kidding. For the balance of the week, we learned the mechanism and theory of it. I couldn't begin to tell you all about it, even if I was allowed to. It's the most ingenious instrument I've ever laid eyes on. In my estimation, it should be definitely included on the list of wonders of the world. The man or men who devised it must have been nothing less than a genius. It sort of made me feel a little ignorant. If I told you how it operated, you wouldn't believe me. You wouldn't believe that a few gears and springs so devised could solve so many problems. Just take my word for it. The age you are living in now is far more advanced than you have reason to believe. I had to learn the entire outside and inside of it, and to know the function of each little gear was quite a job. The nomenclature by itself was something besides all the functions. There must be well over 150 parts of it. I used to think a .50 caliber machine gun had a lot of parts. I've changed my mind about that, though. And then I had to learn all theory of bombing. This was mostly what must have been in the man's mind who built it. It was a tough week. There's no doubt about that. Before I leave here, I'll probably get to love it like a baby. This coming week, bombardiering and navigation will be combined. I think we will start on the trainer tomorrow also. You remember seeing them in the picture. It's the same thing. It will be about the most reliable part of my training. If I can operate the trainer satisfactorily, then I shouldn't have any trouble in the air with the flying experience I've had. There won't be classes at night this week, but there will be compulsory study hall for those who flunked the exam yesterday. So if I passed, you can rely on hearing from me more often. However, don't look for too many letters. After a day's work, my head is reeling and buzzing so badly I can't think straight, much less compose a letter. I never before believed my brain was so capable of holding such a large amount of knowledge. I can truthfully say never have I paid so much attention to schoolwork and classes. I guess it's because I'm so damn eager to make good this time. This is my last leg, and I just can't fail this time. If it's humanly possible, I'll get those gold bars. You can rely on that. There surely has been a change in the weather. It has been misting rain since yesterday morning, and decidedly much cooler. In fact, I used 2 blankets and a comfort last night, and today we turned the heat on. Every man has a gas heater, which gives out with plenty of heat. We really have a swell setup. I guess I'll have to put away my khakis soon. I do hope you will be able to have my sweater fixed, as I can surely use it. I get a swell zipper sweater with the rest of my stuff, but I can use the other as it is much heavier. The field gave the fellows a trip to the caverns today, all for free. I could have gone, but due to the nasty weather and all the letters I must answer, I decided against it. I figure I'll have plenty other opportunities to see them. All the letters you wrote to Las Vegas have been forwarded here, so I've received plenty of mail from you this week. You're really sweet about writing. I also received a long, newsy letter from Leona. She surely never has a minute's peace. I feel sorry for her, as her hands will be filled with Gracie gone. I can imagine how much Richie will miss her. I just hope she won't have too much trouble finding new help. From all she says, Richie must be a big boy. I probably won't recognize him when I see him again. I'm glad Bluma May finally decided to go through with a divorce. I'm sure by doing this, she will be giving herself an opportunity to start life anew. She hasn't by any means ruined her life. She's definitely too young to even be thinking in that way. We had planned to take pictures today, but the weather wouldn't permit. Perhaps it will clear up soon. With all the good food we're getting, and I mean good, you'll see I've gained weight. I'm so busy during the day, I don't have time to eat between meals, so I can safely say I'm a healthy guy. Yes, I received the temple bulletin and also a form letter from the rabbi wishing me a Happy New Year. It really is a nice service from the man. There isn't any more news, just that I wish all of you a very Happy New Year and hope with all my heart that the coming year will bring you health, happiness, and lots of company to drive away your loneliness. I will be excused from all duties during the holiday to attend services here on the post. I wish I could spend them with you. Keep well and write soon. Love to Ida. I love you and miss you, Stan. This is the end of the Silver King's Letters from Carlsbad, New Mexico, Part 1. And you are listening to the Silver King's War.